like, let's say you graduated just now, like right today, and you can either choose to go to a startup or like a big bank or something.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, which way would you choose and why?
That's a great question. So me knowing me right now, I would go straight into a startup. However, I don't think I would know who I am if I didn't go into the fintech that I joined. Now, the fintech I joined wasn't a huge bank. It was still a global company on the stock exchange. It was huge, thousands and thousands of employees, but it wasn't one of those Morgan Stanleys, JP Morgans. And I do think there's a lot of value to be had by working in those places, because you learn the way everybody else has done it. Obviously, the nature of a startup is fast moving. It's very, very much about what's needed today and this week. Let's go do it. Whereas when you go into these bigger companies, you've got projects, you've got outlines, you've got time. There's a lot of stability there. But then you learn how people work. And I think at the end of the day, even if you went to a startup straight away, if you don't know how the industry works, and when I say industry, I'm referring to those big companies and stuff. If you're not even remotely aware of how they work and how they think and what they expect, you could struggle. So as much as I would go back and boom, enter a startup, I think I'd have a huge learning curve, a very steep learning curve. But I do think I really think the value that you'd gain from being at a startup definitely outweighs the value that you would gain from being in one of those other companies for the same amount of time. And I think it's just about whether you're willing to learn very quickly and learn with a lot of pressure as well. Obviously, there's that element of, for example, the startup that, the medtech, it's about fundraising. And if I'm not able to help them raise funds and, if I don't do what I'm telling them I can do, we're not going to have money coming to the new year. We're not going to have money coming into March, February. So there's a lot of pressure on you as well. So I feel like I'm hearing a bit of feedback, by the way.
Nah, that should be fine. I'll just edit it out later.
Yeah. Oh, wait, you can edit out with multiple sound layers.
Wait, are you hearing yourself or are you hearing me twice?
No, I'm hearing like a buzzing. Sorry, that's what I meant by feedback. Maybe not the right word.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I just have to double check.
Yeah? Okay.
I can probably edit it out. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just saying that I think it's first of all just about understanding what type of a person you are. Are you somebody that needs that stability, that needs that support system, real support system around them, that safety net? And that's not even a bad thing. If you're somebody that likes that and needs that, then obviously a startup isn't something you should be doing straight away, because there is no stability in a startup. That thing can go bust in the next year. The whole essence of a startup is that it's a gamble, it's a risk, and it's just about how hard you can and the value you can provide. But yeah, I do think there's still a lot of value to be had in working with those big companies, man. I mean, these guys, they make their billions and trillions of dollars, and they're not making it because they don't know what they're doing. They're making it because they have systems that have worked for hundreds of years, and ways of working that is really valuable. The way that I speak and the frameworks I use and some of the planning tools that I use is still from the fintech that I worked at. And if I hadn't have gone there, I might not know it if I haven't gone out and made an effort to learn it somewhere else. Yeah, so I guess if you're going to go to a startup, you want to make sure that you're a self-starter yourself. Repeat it, but yeah, that's what I say. But I would definitely go back to a startup. I wouldn't have entered a fintech.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. It's funny. I was reading a quote. Was it yesterday? Maybe the day before. And it's like entrepreneurs are the only people that are willing to work like 80 to 100 hours to avoid working 40 hours.
It's actually the biggest con in the industry. Everyone thinks that guys in startups have a nice life. They have the worst life. They're constantly working. There's no off button. They have to be available all the time. And I tell you what's really admirable as well is seeing people that work at startups and these guys turning around and saying, we actually work for free right now. We're doing this off our own backs. And it's like you said, they've given up that 48-hour a week with a nice paycheck for 100 hours a week with no money. But that's passion though, man. That's real passion and energy for what they're doing. And I think, that's the other thing I will say is that, when I joined this fintech, what I saw was a big facade of that they really care about what they do and they really care about certain things. when actually when you go into it, all they give a damn about is making sure the money comes in. That's it. That's really all they care about. Yes, they know that things affect that, like being nice here and caring about this, but if they have to pick between one or the other, they're always picking money. Whereas when you go for a startup, or when you see how people work in startups, they really care about what they do, man. They believe it's the same way with your podcast, that you know that you're making something that can really help people, and you're doing that, and that's a decision that you've made, and you're going to back that. And these guys, they do the same thing, and I think it's the essence of really backing yourself and just saying, this is something that I know I really like and I really believe in, rather than just saying something that, oh, this is something that I know needs to be done and it'll make money. Yes, obviously startups have to make money, but those guys there, they really care about what they do, man. And there's no facade. You can just go walk straight in and just feel it and just see it. And it's a completely different way of working. You know, actually, I forgot to say as well, working in the fintech, and I think working in big institutions, I just reminded myself, was genuinely taught me how to build relationships quickly. Because again, in a startup, it's intimate, man. You're talking about teams of anywhere from like 2, 3 all the way up until 10, 15, 50 and stuff. But if you're looking at big institutions, the people you interact with, that could be 50, 60 people across just what you do. And if you expand that, you're quickly building relationships, and you learn very quickly how to build working relationships. So a lot of the ways that I would speak with people, a lot of the connections I made at my other company, sorry, I shouldn't say my company, the other fintech. Yeah, it's a habit. The other fintech, was actually how to build those working relationships very quickly. And that's given me the tools and power to go ahead and now apply that into the real world and try and arrange these things with startups and meet investors and create these relationships with guys like that and delivery specialists and stuff. It's so interesting. That question you popped was really interesting, man. Startup versus big institutions. A lot of guys go from one to the other as well, and it's only one way from institutions to startups. The startup I actually I was trying to arrange a partnership with in September, was made up of one guy who was in the KPMG global strategy team. Ooh. And he was like a team of 15 people. This guy's, wow. Yeah, I think I could go ahead. They're normal people, man. I'm partying with this guy and chilling. Believe me, he's as normal as everyone. If someone's getting passed, he's there. If he has preferences, like he likes his drinks, he likes his smokes, whatever it might be. These guys are normal guys. So like coming from this, and then these other 2 people, huge industry players, people that have sat on boards of companies, people that have sat, and really made some big decisions in the industry that have now jumped to, oh, let's just build this in a team of 3 and let's build this project out and make a startup. So that's the other thing. A lot of people go into these institutions and I feel like they jump out for good reasons.
We hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want more content, be sure to check out our full episodes either here on YouTube or down below through the link in the description to find podcasts wherever you typically find your podcasts. Alternatively, in the meantime, you can follow us on social media to stay up to date between episodes. Either way, I'm happy you guys were here to join us today. Hope you enjoyed the clip. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.